guys, it is Tanya and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another speed build. Today, as you can see from the title of the video, we are making some tiny lakeside cabins. I actually had gotten a couple of suggestions from a couple of you guys to do a lakeside cabin or a cabin on the lake, and I thought that would be a fun idea, but I kind of wanted to do a bunch of them, so tiny little cabins on the lake. And also probably because I had a lot of fun a few weeks back when we did that partially underwater cabin. So I was inspired by that, but I wanted them to just be cabins and look more like cabins and go into detail and have it be an area where you could bring a bunch of different Sims and they could all have their different little house they're staying in for a vacation. So I thought that would be kind of fun. So we're just figuring out the shape of these now. Only 3 of them end up being cabins. One of them is more of a dock area for boats bringing in supplies. However, there's 4 structures and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I am using these chairs from Outdoor Retreat and raising them up to just be log details on the house. I've seen a ton of people do this before and I think it's just super detailed and beautiful and I really liked how that came out. So I wanted to use that. I also used some of these little, I'm not sure what these are called, but I also sized up a roof awning. I believe that's what that is called, from Get Together, this thing over here, because it adds just a little bit more wood detailing to the exterior, and I believe I added that on all 3 of the homes but not onto the dock area. And I don't keep the green roof, but I do like the green roof. It's definitely something maybe I should work on trying to incorporate in a home in the future, but I didn't feel like it worked very well for this house. Also, for all the windows and doors, for the most part I used The Sims 4 Seasons. I thought they worked really well for the vibe I was going for this lot, so happy with that. And so all of these homes have 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. One of them has 2 single beds, one has a double bed, one has 1 single bed. And the small one that we're working on right now, it was a struggle to get it functional. And actually what you see me do, I'll explain it when we get to it. It's not entirely functional. I had to go in, playtest it, and move some stuff around before I uploaded it to the gallery. But it should be on the gallery now and fully functional. It's just not functional in the state you're going to see it in the video, but you'll see what it looks like in the in the screenshots at the end. But it was a little bit of a struggle because it's a really small space to try to make that functional, but also it's on a diagonal, which makes it so much more difficult. So hopefully you guys like how it came out in the end. And if you know what I mean about working on diagonals, it's a little bit of a struggle for sure. Also, I just wanted to mention that over the next, this week, next week, the week after, I'm probably not going to be as good at responding to comments. I'm currently in the process of pre-recording, but also working full-time because I'm leaving for LA next week, and then I'm going to be flying and going to EA Play, and I'm got a lot to do. I am reading everything still, and I'm trying to reply to as many things as I possibly can. I spent 6 or 7 hours a couple days ago replying to comments, and I'm still super behind, and so I apologize for that, but I am definitely reading everything, and I really appreciate everybody's comments. With that being said, though, lots of pre-recording to do. I'm a little upset because last night I came home and I started working on something that I wanted to upload while I was in LA, and I got an hour into the build, and my game crashed, and I lost the entire thing. So yeah, pre-recording is going great. I plan on having, hopefully, 3 videos up the week while I'm gone. We shall see about that, and those will just post automatically, and I'm excited to share a bunch of content with you during that time, and I'm also just excited to see what's announced. But I don't want to talk about that too much. I want to get back to the build. I just wanted to point that out while I'm thinking of it. I also just thought of this. So one of you guys keeps commenting on my tiny homes and saying that they really appreciate the squish. And I just think that is the funniest thing, that calling tiny homes squish, because, you're squishing everything in. And this is the daily dose of the squish, or this is your weekly dose of the squish on the channel. I really like that. I kind of want to make that a thing. Let me know if you guys are a fan of the squish, because I like that. It just makes me giggle every time I read one of those comments and makes my day a little bit, and I just think that would be a fun way to identify this content. Yeah. Anyway, we're figuring out the back decks here. It's so awkward on diagonals. The fences don't go the same length, and so it's just like, what is happening? So that one doesn't have a full-on fence around the whole area, but you know, what can you do? And then here we are figuring out the colors. I believe we have the brown for the dock, and then we have red, blue, and orange for these other houses, which I thought was kind of fun. I was just trying to figure out what colors I thought looked best here, and it ended up being the colors I used for my solid color tiny homes. So that's kind of fun. Very different style, but still fun nonetheless. And I actually ended up getting rid of those awnings that were from Jungle Adventure and just creating a dock out of the ground here with some floor tiles because I thought it looked a little bit more realistic. And I did the same thing over by the boat as well. Speaking of which, I am fairly certain this boat is a debug item that comes with cats and dogs. I found it by accident a few weeks ago, and I thought it would look really nice here as a boat that you don't have to scale up to make it realistic. I actually scaled it down because it's massive. So I'm pretty sure it's in the environment somewhere in Cats and Dogs, which makes sense in the world of Brindleton Bay. I also added a little chair in a fishing spot at the end of this dock here. I do get rid of the chair in the end, and I size down the fishing spot and I move it. And it's still a little wonky. Like when they go to throw the line, they kind of step onto the water for a second, but it's a lot better than it was. Because where I have it placed now, when they go fish, they just stand on the water. They're just like, I can stand on water. They're like magical Sims. So I had to change that. But here we are in this dock area. I just wanted some nice shelving and a sink, and then I add a bunch of storage in here as well, but apparently I'm scrolling forever. I was looking for this item. I don't know why I can never find that when I'm looking for it, but it's definitely a struggle. And just I have a couple of clutter items. I definitely add some of these like baskets and boxes full of stuff. And then we end up adding the shelving unit that came with Dine Out, I believe, in here, because I figured, you know, non-perishable food items could probably be stored in this area. This is just where all the deliveries would come in, and I thought that was pretty realistic and kind of cute. And then I was like, oh my god, this looks so beautiful at night. So I went through and was adding lights. I do switch out the lights that are on the middle blue cabin, so it's not on the top like that. I do have it on either side of the door, but I do add a lot of lights, and you can kind of see the landscaping came together pretty. It's close to done. It's not done yet. But I didn't show all of that on camera. It took me forever. Like, I spent so long landscaping this build, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm still trying to get a landscaping video out either this week or next. I have not got the chance to start it yet because I'm a little bit behind after that lovely crash that I had. But we'll see what happens. Still hoping to get that out. And now we are into the first house with this really interesting floor plan. This bathroom was fun. This is part of the house that is fully functional. This bathroom, there was no issues, didn't have to move anything. And that toilet is debug. I don't actually know like how you get that if you're not using cheats, but it matched the color scheme I was using in all of these homes really well, so I used that toilet in all of the homes. And now into the kitchen space, which in this cabin in particular, while I was recording this, before I playtested it, was the part that was the most difficult to figure out a floor plan for, because it's such a small space on this diagonal. I still needed to fit a bed in. This house doesn't actually end up having a place to sit and eat. You can go ahead and just sit on your bed, or I end up adding like a campfire area outside of this cabin so you could go sit outside and enjoy your food. But there ends up being no place to sit because there wasn't enough room. This is a very compact cabin. I think this one is would perfectly be like, this is a tiny cabin. The other two are very small as well, but this one's very tiny, and I really did enjoy the kind of puzzle of trying to make it work. And I actually really want to do a tiny home, seeing how small I can make it and still make it functional. Isn't it like a 3x3 or something like that can work? Because I've done 5x5s. I might have done 4x4s. I'm not sure. I might have to test that. That could be kind of fun to do. I definitely am probably going to be having a lot of tiny homes out over the next week or so because it's been a bit since I've done a bunch. I've been doing bigger builds as well, which have been a lot of fun. But since I do have a little bit of a time restriction right now, plus I love tiny homes and it's been a little bit, I think there's going to be more over the next week or so. And this is just the beginning of that. I'm trying to think what else I have worked on. Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a few tiny homes. I have some suggestions written down that are not tiny homes, but we'll see what I get to and what sounds fun in the moment, because I think I've mentioned this like 1,000 times before, but I write down like all the suggestions I get and all kinds of different ideas that I come up with. But then when I go to build, it's whatever sounds fun in the moment. So we'll see what happens. But there should be plenty of content out next week. But here is that little fire pit area that I added with a couple of chairs. And back to that other, I know I talked over it, but the first cabin we were in, the bed area is not functional. I have to like scoot it forward, and I put a couple things behind the bed to make it functional. You'll see that in the screenshots, but it ends up working out fine in the end, which is good. But there we were just figuring out the downstairs floor plan for both of these cabins. The bathroom and kitchen area end up being in the same spot. And then this is the blue one. I kind of tried to have a little bit of a color scheme in the interior of them. This one definitely has a lot of blue accents. The orange one, not so much, just has camping stuff in it. Like, it's not too over the top colorful to match the outside, but I liked the blue accents in this one. And I also never used this bed, so it was definitely nice to use that. And then that red shelf there, if you are new to the channel, that is a CC item that I use to place items more precisely. I don't keep it in the build though, so there is no custom content in this build, but if you're interested in grabbing that for yourself, there is a link down below on where you can go ahead and download that shelf. It's probably my favorite piece of custom content I've ever downloaded because it's so helpful. I'm not going to talk about it too much though, because I talk about it in like every video, but I just want to make sure that if there's anyone new that I can answer that question for you guys, because I do get comments all the time asking what that is, where they can get it, if it's CC, where it is in the game. So I just like to cover that, cover the bases on that for most of the videos. Sometimes I might forget, but I try and cover that whenever I think of it. Anyway, back to the build. This actually, I don't remember how much it all costs to like build the whole lot, but if you were going to stay on this lot, I noticed that it was $1,213 a night, or 1,213 simoleons per night to stay here if you are vacationing here. But if you want to place this lot down in like a different world and live here, I'm not sure off the top of my head how much it is, but that'll be on the gallery if you guys go and download this or you want to grab it. And that's up there under my origin ID, which is Gryphi. You can also search by the hashtag MsGryphi. That info is down below, as well as a link to the gallery website if it's easier for you guys to download it that way. You can see my struggle with the kitchen here. I was like, how do I lay out the kitchen? I thought I would leave this in for you guys because it took me forever, but it's also just like the struggle. I just like place it in every single location I can think of. But once I figure it out here, it ends up being in the same spot in the other cabin as well. So they have like the same layout for the most part. They have a couple of different decorations and stuff, but for the most part, it's like the exact same layout. But I thought it looked kind of nice in the end. We end up having a 2-seater table over here with, I believe did I add the wicker chairs? Yeah, I did. The wicker chairs from Laundry Day stuff. I really like those. And then we end up having a little half wall and a couch area. I know like the point of being in this area is to relax in nature, but I did want to include like a little box TV. I think one of them has a box TV and the other one has like the miniature flat screen, because when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you want to watch a little bit of TV, and you don't have to use it if your Sims are here. I just thought it would be nice to add, because I know that's not really the point of being here, but I like adding TVs in my living rooms. I occasionally don't, but like, for the most part, there's always a TV in the living room. Whether you're going to use it or not, I like having that, but that's easy to delete. So yeah. Anyway, we're adding some pots and pans in this kitchen, just adding some decorations. I don't want it to be too cluttered, but I wanted it to have everything you might need. And I believe we end up adding the little heart wood sculptures here. I think they are so cute, and I thought they worked out really well for this build. And we're just adding a planter up on the table as well. Wanted to size that down, and I feel like we add something next to it. Oh, the bread box. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit of clutter here, and I thought it looked pretty cute. And then we're going to be working on the bathroom. Working on the bathroom. I really liked this sink. I mean, I used it in all of them, and the sink and toilet, but they're ones I never use. So it was kind of nice to change it up a little bit. And then we add a mirror by the back door. And then when we come into the bathroom, I'm just figuring out what stuff to put in here for decorations. We have a plant. We make sure one of the walls has that exposed, like, what would that be called? Logs, sort of, inside. And it's just, like, very warm in these homes. And I really liked how it came out. I also added a little gardening station outside of this one. This one, I think I focused more on, there's like a couple staying in probably. The other one is just a bunch of friends, and they're exploring nature, they're collecting flowers, making arrangements. But the first one, or the blue one I was thinking was for a couple. So you have like the single sim, the couple of friends, and like an actual couple. Those are the different homes. I wanted to make sure that there was definitely a cabin that fit to probably each sim you could potentially have. Or maybe you have the parents in the middle one, you have two of the kids in one, you have the uncle in the other. Like, you could have all kinds of different scenarios for sims staying here. But we're into the orange cabin, and as I had mentioned, this one has 2 single beds upstairs. I think they're actually air mattresses that I picked out, which I thought was kind of fun because I never use the air mattresses. But it makes sense for cabins and like camping. I mean, that's where they came from. They came from I keep wanting to call this Jungle Adventure. Outdoor Retreat. Granite Falls. Yes. It came with this, and I liked that. I also sized down this shelf from Cool Kitchen and raised it up so it looked like we had some more storage. And I think we're going to be adding like a little towel over the sink as well. And I don't remember if there's much more other than that little washing rack over the sink for the decorations down here. Oh wait, I added this like thing full of little coffee accessories. We got the French press and stuff. I thought that looked cute. As well as this towel rack, or not rack, I guess the towel closet thing that came with Seasons. It came in the perfect color, so I really liked adding that in here as well. I think I added that in the other cabin. I think I did. And we added a bookcase. I really focused on like the outdoor aspect in this cabin. We end up adding a bunch of the little critters you can get, or the like bugs you can collect while you're here. I believe we put those on the kitchen table instead of this plant. We put like 2 of them, which I thought looked nice. And then that little painting or piece of wood hanging up is actually from the holiday pack. Most of the swatches have like wintry Christmas stuff on them, but that one just has writing, and I just thought it looked very handmade and would work out well here. Another thing that could have been nice to add to this is maybe like a woodworking bench somewhere. That would work really nice in the dock area. But I only added the flower arranging table, but that could be something nice to add if you guys do download this house. But you can see we have the just 2 single beds with a dresser between them, and then we're realizing I didn't put a dresser in this home, so just kind of figuring out how to maneuver the layers, the items around. And I also added stuff for a dog in that cabin as well. And there's a couple of musical instruments here in the orange cabin. I just wanted to make sure there was lots of activities to do here, including this table that I, in my last video, went on a rant about how I can never remember the name of it. So I'm not going to try to say it again this time. But I believe we add just some baskets and maybe another one of the little bugs up here. Maybe not, though. I can't remember. I feel like I added another bug. Did I add another bug? Maybe. But we also added that shelf up here. Yeah, there's the bug. And I believe a couple of like fish and stuff got added downstairs. I don't remember if we added any up here, like the mounted fish. But those are definitely cool items that fit this theme super well. Anyway, we are coming to the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.